You know you're up when you hear that roll tide roll. Roll tide roll. You can talk bacon grease, you can talk geese, you can talk about the way things used to be. And if you get lucky, you might even talk to Freddie. Talk Congress, crime and cruise ship celibacy, entertainment districts. Talk politics, just leave his mama out of this.
You leave my mama out of this.
It's crushing Ronald Reagan, and don't y'all forget to pray. A celebrity Bible verse to start your day.
Lord have mercy. Read your Bible.
Giant moon pies and ugly ties and ill-named football bowls. Be sure you end your call with Roll Tide Roll. You can talk bacon grease, you can talk geese, you can talk about the way things ought to be. And if you get lucky, you might even talk to Freddie. Talk Congress, crime and cruise ship celibacy, entertainment districts. Talk politics, just leave his mama out of this.
Mama out of this. It's horrible.
Let's talk about the Constitution.
I'm uncomfortable being called baby.
Just don't talk about prostitutes. From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Very slow going southbound on I-65. Got a vehicle fire in the right lane. It's between St. Stephen's Road and Moffett Road. From 165 to I-10, it's a 15-minute delay. Crews are also on the scene of a crash with Entrapment Lot Road at Box Road. I'm Lisa Baque. Follow us on X, Total Traffic, Gulf Coast.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows that saving is always top of mind, especially this season. Shop early Black Friday deals like select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at $59.98. Because it's basically Christmas, right? Lowe's, we help you save. While supplies last, selection varies by location.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Enter this nationwide keyword on our website. GRAND. That's GRAND. Enter it now at newsradio710.com. The Uncle Henry Show. Weekday afternoons from 5 till 7.
People, please listen.
Wonderful town, wonderful people, places to go, things to see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Beautiful homes, schools and churches, entertainment, places to shop. My heart's in Mobile, that's my wonderful town. Mobile, the center of transportation, business and industry set the pace. Mobile's got the Junior Miss celebration, home of Mardi Gras and Senior Bowl game.
Mobile is great to live in and work in.
The climate's ideal for progress you see. My love is Mobile, that's my wonderful town.
It says the Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Hello. Hey. Here we are together again. Isn't that nice? What a blessing it is to have spent another day here on planet Earth together. And just like every other Uncle Henry show, It's me and you here trying to figure out what is going on. What is really going on in the world around us? If you can tell me, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, Uncle Henry at iHeartMedia.com. That's Uncle Henry at iHeartMedia.com. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day it has been here on the Gulf Coast. A little chilly. Just a little bit chilly. And I believe we have a freeze warning in effect. So you know what you're supposed to do. Of course, the most important thing, anytime something like this happens, is to check on the elderly. This is number one, that they built this country. Check on them. I know you're supposed to check on other people and your pets and your pipes and all that kind of, all your tender vegetation, whatever that is. But the elderly built this country. Check on them ahead of all the other things you're doing in this time of cold weather. And if you're having any issues, if you need a place to stay, or you know somebody that needs a place to stay, you can call 211 and here on the Gulf Coast, 211 in Mobile County. Call 211 and they'll tell you where you can get shelter in this cold. I think I read today I think they've even got some climate control areas for pets with Mobile County. So yeah, even the pets are being helped at this time of year. Now, speaking of trying to figure out what is going on in the world around us, so the government shutdown, looks like the government is not going to be shut down much longer, that they're finally reaching an agreement and open the government back up. Now, remind me again, what was that all about? From what I'm reading, the Republicans have not actually given anything that was demanded, although I heard a sad speech from Dick Durbin where he was explaining that he believes that the Republican Senate Majority Leader is going to honor his word or something. So apparently they've just made a few promises and going to open up again. What was that all about again? What was it for? All of the people trying to figure out, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Flight delays, SNAP benefits. What was that all about again? And shutting down the government for 40 days did what again? It achieved what? Here is just a little bit of Senator Dick Durbin. He's a Democrat. Listen to him. This is him speaking from the Senate.
Leader John Thune.
Now this is, so he's the Democrat. Does he sound like he won anything?
During that time, we will pass 3 bipartisan appropriation bills that will fully fund SNAP, WIC, and all the veterans programs, and finish our work on the remaining spending bills for this fiscal year. The agreement would also reverse the Trump administration's mass fire.
Somebody check his pulse.
And prevent future ones through.
Get a defibrillator ready.
30th. We credit Senator Kaine of Virginia for this provision.
He just, look, I can't listen to any more of that because he sounds like he just sounds like he's not won anything. Sounds like he's lost a lot. Very sad sounding. So what was this all about? All of this theatrics, all of this drama, people going on social media telling us what's going to happen if their SNAP runs out and all this kind of stuff, and how catastrophic it was going to be. What was this all about? Well, I guess the end result may be that some elderly Democrats will now be replaced by younger, more communist Democrats, because I'm sure the younger, more communist Democrats are very irritated that the older, elderly Democrats sound like this guy who just.
Leader Thune has also promised the Democrats an opportunity before mid-December.
He's made a promise, so we got a promise. I don't know if it's in writing though, but anyway, I guess brace ourselves for some younger commies to get involved, because the older Democrats sound like that, and that's what it sounds like after shutting the government down for 40 days. what a waste of all of our time. What a waste of all of our time and the country's time. And anybody that had flights canceled or anybody that had their SNAP stopped, any of that, all of that was for nothing. Other than Dick Durbin says that they've gotten some promises.
I've never seen that kind of offer from a Senate majority. During the historic roll call last night, I walked across the aisle and met with Senator John Thune, the Republican leader. I told him that I was counting on him to keep his word on this agreement.
See, I would have an ambulance waiting on this guy. He sounds like he needs something. Somebody give him a B12 at the very least. Just a B12 shot would help a little bit. All right, look, anyway, government shutdown coming to an end. We can get into other things that are more interesting to talk about, including whatever it might be, whatever has happened. I saw some interesting litter over the weekend I want to tell you about. Yes, I enjoyed some Mobile litter yesterday when I was walking the dog. Got voicemails from listeners about Alabama football. We're going to have a good time as the Uncle Henry Show proceeds forward here on this beautiful Monday. What a beautiful day it has been. I think tomorrow's going to be nice, too.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
Very slow going southbound on I-65. Got a vehicle fire in the right lane. It's between St. Stephen's Road and Moffett Road. From 165 to I-10, it's a 15-minute delay. Crews are also on the scene of a crash with Entrapment Lot Road at Box Road. I'm Lisa Baque. Follow us on X, Total Traffic, Gulf Coast.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Find great early Black Friday deals now at Lowe's. Get up to 50% off select major appliances, plus up to an...
YouTube viewers, hello to you if you're there. I see a small number of you are watching. Hello to you. Thank you for watching and subscribing on YouTube. 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley with your questions. The answer is no, I will not be here all week. No, I will not be here all week. In fact, 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley, who on screen, Roll Tide, Timmy Watkins, KP of shirtbutter.com, Moon Fairy 65 wants to know if I will be here all week. Well, tomorrow is Veterans Day, and I'm going to be on Dolphin Island at Doherty's for a concert raising money for Vets Recover on Veterans Day. I'll be there with 95 KSJ doing the concert, so I will not be here tomorrow. In fact, the music starts right about 5:15. What? What are y'all standing out there about? Well, come on in. I'm on YouTube right now. What is it? What do you need to tell me? It'll be later. All right. This is Melissa Overstreet and Jack. He's going to be on the Uncle Henry Show later, and they thought it was now. So, no, it's not going to be now. It's going to be after 6. So, you come back after 6. Come back after 6. All right. I'm going to be, all right, go on. I'm on with these people. Go on. I'm going to interview him after 6 o'clock. He's one of these kids that's doing the robot competitions and all that kind of stuff. How is that going to help? How is that going to help him? Is it going to, unless he builds robots for a living, I don't know if it'll help him. But I'm going to talk to him after 6 about his robot. Now, what was I saying? I won't be here tomorrow. 68-year-old Chris, no, I will not be here tomorrow because we're raising money for Vets Recover with a concert on Dolphin Island. And now, what else? Oh, I'm not going to be here Wednesday. I will not be here Wednesday because I'm taking a vacation day. We're getting to the time of year where if I don't want to not take my vacation days. I've put off taking the vacation days. So I'll be out tomorrow and Wednesday, but I'm back Thursday. I'll be back Thursday and Friday with more Uncle Henry Show, unless something else comes up. But thank you for asking, Moon Fairy. And KP, thank you for saying I deserve it, but really, this is not, as you can tell, this is not the same as roofing a house. I think the people that need vacations are the people that put roofs on houses. Now, let's see, back on the radio here in about 45 seconds. I will use most of the vacation days at the very tail end of the year.
Sponsored by Compassion International. Compassion sponsorship means food, healthcare, education, and most of all, being known, loved, and...
If you want to be compassionate, have a single acoustic guitar playing in the background.
Compassion today. Text the word radio to 83393.
News? Check. Traffic and weather? Check. Opinions? Check. This is the Uncle Henry Show, only on News Radio 710 WNTM.
Uncle Henry Show, News Radio 710, WNTM. It is 5:20. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. If you'd like to call the show, you can, 251-479-2723. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. Hello, caller.
Hey, Uncle Henry, how you doing?
Snake Trapper, you are live on the radio.
Hey, Uncle Henry, with the temperature dropping below freezing for the first time here in Mobile,
yes.
I think it's safe to say that the squirrel, the rabbit, and the nutria will be safe to eat after tonight. For folks out there that don't know it, we live here in the deep south, and them types of critters get a parasite called, and what's caused it, they're actually bit by what's called a bite fly. And what it does, it actually lays an egg in that bite, and it hatches that egg and it turns into a larva, and it stays into the squirrel, nutria, rabbit until late August. And sometimes it fevers the animal, and always if you'll wait till after the first freeze here in the deep south, them animals will be safe to eat. Although it's been proven that it would hurt you to eat one that was fevered. It's just that that's something you just don't do. You don't eat fevered meat, Uncle Henry. So, all them squirrel, rabbit, and nutria hunters out there, you'll be good to go after tonight.
See, now this is you've provided a valuable service and wonderful education for the listener. And it's something I'll never forget, your advice about eating fevered meat. It is, and no one's ever tried to teach me about fevered meat. So I want to thank you for that.
Well, up north or above the northern part of Alabama, they're good probably starting in late September. But here in the deep south, man, you got to wait for that first freeze. And also, too, Uncle Henry, so far since Friday night, there has been 2 deer hit, one on Tanner Williams and Snow Road, and the other one on Snow Road South, just past the graveyard there. And it seems like there's an uptick in deer activity this year. I believe there are more of them probably I've seen this year than any other year. And also, too, bow season has started. I don't know if it's because they're being pressured in these areas, but from now till after January, just people on them roads, be very careful and try to notice the sides of the highways because, a vehicle hitting a 200-pound deer, that could not be good for the driver of that car. So kind of be aware. There does seem to be a lot more of them this year than in previous years.
All right. Well, Snake Trapper, thank you. This is all wonderful information. Thank you for sharing it with the listener.
Yes, sir, Uncle Henry. And also, too, the snakes, you don't have to worry about them unless we get a cycle of temperature above 65 degrees for a 24-hour period, and you may have a few venture out. But seems like they're gone for the winter, Uncle Henry.
Now, that would be a lot of women folk and weak men are going to be very happy to hear that, aren't they?
Yes, sir, they will. For some reason, people don't like them, Uncle Henry, but I think we're more dangerous to them than they are us.
That is true.
I just want people to be aware, Uncle Henry, and it's good to talk with you, buddy.
Well, same here. Thank you, Snake Trapper. What a wonderful phone call. Yes, and what wonderful news for the feminine in our society. And that is that this early freeze that should deal with the snake issue until spring. But I'm sure we'll get some updates on this from Snake Trapper as time goes on. 251-479-2723, the telephone number. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, Uncle Henry at iHeartMedia.com. That's Uncle Henry at iHeartMedia.com. Let me see. I did get some voicemails over the weekend. The Alabama game was one topic that had people leaving me messages. Just real quick here.
Roll Tide up. That's about all the energy I got left to say. Just roll Tide up. They LSU put up a good fight. I will give them credit. Whew. Now we got Oklahoma coming up. To be discussed later. Roll Tide roll.
Roll Tide roll. 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley. Thank you for the voicemail. Yeah, over the weekend, I also watched the Alabama game, Roll Tide roll, and enjoyed the victory over LSU. And because of I use YouTube TV to receive all of these big channels. And like everybody else that uses YouTube TV, I could not watch the Alabama game the way I normally could. And so I got my TV antenna out and I hooked it up to the TV. And I had the wonderful fun of watching over-the-air antenna TV again this past weekend. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching the Alabama Crimson Tide beating LSU using over-the-air antenna television. And then Sunday, real early in the morning, I got up and I turned on the TV and I thought, well, let me see what is available to me on the television early on a Sunday morning just using the antenna. What's there? What can I find? And I was so excited. I found the Jack Benny Show. Yeah, I was excited to see the Jack Benny Show, knowing that he's still out there being broadcast to people. And I must have watched Jack Benny play the violin with a 12-year-old girl for about 10 minutes. Yes, it was so wholesome. I thought this is what America was better off when we were watching an old man play a violin. And now you turn on TV and it's people cussing and wanting to show I got a tattoo of my cleavage. Let me show it to you. That kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff people are watching now. Look where we are. Look at the kind of country we're in these days. It was a lot more simple when Jack Benny was playing the fiddle with that young woman on television. Oh, by the way, 68-year-old Chris of West Loxley did call back in.
Roll Tide up. Well, Uncle, I'm sitting around indoors the entire day today, other than walking Sarita out or carrying Sarita out to the school bus stop. I carried her in the car so it'd be warm while she had to wait.
Yes.
I've been hanging out here in the house all day long, and I thank the good Lord this morning right after I got up for being here and it being a beautiful day and whatnot. And I'm not going to say I've done a complete 180 and come to really enjoy these cold weather days. As I've told you before, I'll take the hot every day over the cold, but I'm able to tolerate it somewhat better after talking to the good Lord about it.
Good.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
So I think I'm going to be all right in that regard. Speaking of being all right, yeah, that LSU game was tough. but the one we got coming up this Saturday is going to be even tougher. Oklahoma is a dead-gum good football team. They got a defense that's as good as anybody in the conference. Our defense seems to be getting better. Our offense fell off a little bit there Saturday night. However, I attribute that to the fact that we, up until this point, that was the best defense that we had faced this year. But again, this week we'll have to get a hold of another one that's going to be even tougher. May the Tide be with us. Roll, Tide, roll.
From the Spring Hill Toyota Traffic Center.
Heavy congestion is developing east on I-10 as you get onto the Escambia Bay Bridge. Look out for an accident. Also, crews have been on the scene of a vehicle fire. This is on southbound I-65 approaching Moffett Road. From 165 to I-10, it's a 10-minute delay. I'm Lisa Bakke. Follow us on X Total Traffic Gulf Coast.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. New at Lowe's, ProBlock Quick Dry Primer. Expertly manufactured by Sherwin-Williams. Engineered for pros to dry fast, lock stains, and go on smooth for virtually flawless results. Available now in oil and water-based. Grab yours today at Lowe's.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Hello, I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News. The man accused of sparking a deadly shootout at a downtown Mobile New Year's Eve celebration pleaded guilty. Thomas Earl Thomas Jr. was scheduled to have a hearing on his stand your ground claim, but instead entered a blind plea to murder and first-degree assault. So that means prosecutors have not promised to recommend a lighter sentence. His sentencing is set for January. He faces 20 years to life in prison. As the government shutdown continues, flights have been impacted across the country. It was a quiet morning at the airport in Mobile, though. A difference from what we've been seeing in other places. Now, just last week, the FAA issued an emergency order to reduce flights by 10% at 40 major airports, even though Mobile isn't on that list. According to Executive Director Andy Wilson, flights have already been adjusted by the airlines because of connections through larger hub airports, and that's a cause for concern for people flying out locally. Former Mobile Police Chief Paul Prine announcing he's running for Mobile County Sheriff. Prine, who was dismissed as police chief in 2024, ran for mayor this year. He did not make it to a runoff election. Current Mobile County Sheriff Paul Birch announced last month he would seek re-election. He was elected as the sheriff in November of 2022 and formally sworn in as sheriff in January of 2023. The primary election is in May and the general is November. I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News on this iHeart radio station.
This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. The Senate passing a Republican-backed measure to end the government shutdown in a test vote last night. Democrats, the health care reforms were missing from that package. President Trump says he wants a health care system that gives money to the people, not illegal immigrants or insurance companies.
We're not going to be giving $1.5 trillion to people that came in from jails and from, the gangs and drug dealers and all of these others that they wanted to be given health care, which would have hurt our health care system.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffrey says the price of living is increasing due to Republican policy.
Inflation is going up. Under Republican policies, housing costs are going up. Child care costs are going up. Grocery costs are going up. Electricity prices are through the roof.
Senate Republicans have committed to holding a vote next month on extending Affordable Care Act subsidies. America's listening to Fox News.
Advanced dermatology and skin.
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking at the Uncle Henry Show on YouTube. We're going to be back on the radio here in about 2 minutes. Going to be back on the radio here in about 2 minutes with more Uncle Henry Show. Let me do a quick check and make sure I'm still on YouTube. And I am. We got a few people watching. Thank you for looking. I appreciate you looking at the Uncle Henry Show. Going to be back on the radio, as I said, here in about 2 minutes. See, the Bama Big Man is giving his YouTube TV dissertation. "68-year-old Chris, TV over the antenna is getting better and better. Meanwhile, streaming is getting costlier and costlier. Now, let's see, what can I tell you about while waiting to go back on the radio? Have you ever wondered if you've overstayed your welcome when you've gone and stayed with somebody else at their house? Well, if so, allegedly, 6 days is the limit. Somebody did some survey, a couple of thousand people, and asked them how long is too long. And the answer, 6 days, is when they want you to leave. 6 days. Just remember that. 6 days is when they want you to leave. They might want you to stay longer if you, I don't know, gave them some money or something, or mowed the grass, whatever, raked the yard. 6 days. All right, back on in 30 seconds.
Influence your decision.
Glenn puts the pen in your hands.
I'm sick and tired of everyone telling me how to feel.
I want you to be able to make your own decision.
I wouldn't even know what's fact and what's fiction anymore without Glenn.
The Glenn Beck Program.
This we do for you.
Weekday mornings at 8
You know what we're facing.
on WNTM.
The Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. It's 5:35. You can also hear me Monday through Friday on FM radio on 95 KSJ, playing today's hottest country. Now, tomorrow is Veterans Day. I will not be doing the Uncle Henry Show here with you tomorrow. I'm going to be with 95 KSJ doing a concert at Doherty's on Dauphin Island for Veterans Day. It is Dylan Carmichael. Dylan Carmichael in concert at Doherty's on Dauphin Island tomorrow, raising money for a veterans group in Mobile called Vets Recover. Now, Vets Recover was founded by a veteran, Colonel John Kilpatrick, and it is staffed by a lot of veterans, helping other veterans in Mobile. I think they helped 800 veterans last year. So we're raising money for Vets Recover. And just real quick, I'm going to get back to some voicemails and other stuff here, but real quick, the money from this concert goes to Vets Recover. Here is John Kilpatrick. We asked him about how they are saving lives of these veterans at Vets Recover. He says that there are some veterans that really do need help getting back into society.
In Alabama, we have about 400,000 veterans. So generally speaking, 80% of them are never going to need a clinical intervention. They're going to get everything they need in their community, their job, their church, their family. About 20% are going to need something. And about 80% of them will need, an outpatient. They just need to talk to a counselor up here. And then a small subset of them are going to need a very intensive residential, clinical medical intervention. And that's really what we started for. So those are the guys that are going to die either by an overdose or suicide if they don't get the help that they need. It's a very small number, but a huge impact.
Have you intervened? Have you helped people that were considering taking their own life?
Over the last, I've been at this for a long time, even before we started Vets Recover, but I would say in the last 10 years, I've personally taken the gun out of probably 100 mouths.
That is just a breathtaking thing to hear.
It's a breathtaking thing to do, and why I keep showing up. It is very
well. You certainly know what your purpose is here on this planet right now. Do you not?
No doubt at all. And it's not just me. I mean, there's like I said, most of the folks at Vets Recover are also veterans. And I'm not the only one doing this work. I mean, we've got a whole team of folks. But there's just something very unique about, going to see a veteran who's in a struggle that you've experienced, and we can talk to them in a way that really cuts through all of the minutia and just gets down to the point. And we can communicate with them in a way that really nobody else can.
So these veterans, they need our help. The subset, you heard him describe the subset of veterans that really need our help. They deserve our help as a country. And so proud that 95 KSJ is raising money for Vets Recover. That's where the ticket money is going. I want to thank Taylor Martino Rowan Law Firm for being a sponsor of this event, so that helps us be able to give the ticket money to Vets Recover. You can get a ticket now for the concert. The music starts around 5 o'clock tomorrow evening at Doherty's on Dolphin Island. You can get your tickets at 95ksj.com. That's 95ksj.com to get tickets for that concert and help that charity, Vets Recover. 251-479-2723, the telephone number to call the Uncle Henry Show. That's 251-479-2723. Email address, unclehenry@iheartmedia.com. I've got a few voicemails that came in over the weekend. This is from, I believe she says her name is Kay.
Hi, Uncle Henry. This is Kay. My comment is in reference to the SNAP program, the food stamp program.
Yes.
I feel like I have heard that there were so many people that are getting this extra stipend to pay for food, and they're not really eligible. They really aren't qualifying for this. And I think that we're missing out by not having them reapply. This is a golden opportunity to have everybody who's on the program to just reapply, and let's evaluate whether they are really eligible or not. Thank you.
Kay, thank you for listening. Thank you for leaving the voicemail. Voicemail number 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976. To leave a message for the Uncle Henry Show and its listeners. On the topic of SNAP or food stamps, years ago, and this would have been maybe 8 to 10 years ago on this radio station, I remember the state of Alabama buying commercial time, trying to encourage more people to sign up for food stamps and SNAP. Do you remember that? Do you ever remember hearing those commercials? There were government officials that were upset that they didn't have more people on the programs, and so they did spend state tax dollar advertising for more people to get on it, because they just, for whatever reason, they thought Alabama, we can do better than that. We can have more of us on these things. Please sign up. Yeah, we ran that was about a year that those ads were running. And I always found it quite odd. Let's see, another voicemail. This one, I believe, has to do with tomorrow. Tomorrow is Veterans Day.
Uncle Henry, this is Bert. In honor of Veterans Day, and my dad was a World War II Navy veteran, I'm going to do a little snippet of this song on the 60th anniversary of the event that the song describes. I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to get to my keyboard a few feet away.
By the way, Bert, if you're listening, thank you for this. This is one of my favorite things, is when people call in and sing or play instruments to the voicemail.
Well, thunder came down on him in 29. They fought for their lives, but most of them died. The 117th Air Force on the 8th of November and 8th of Friday, the carry
Right. Unfortunately, the phone not picking up the musical artistry that Bert has. So, Bert, thank you for the thought. Would love to hear all of it. Maybe I've got to get Bert to bring the keyboard in here and just do a concert for us on the Uncle Henry Show. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Bert, if you're listening, we're going to have to set up a time and a date that you can come in and maybe do a set here on the Uncle Henry Show of that song and whatever else you got in your repertoire. Again, the voicemail number is 251-216-1976. That's 251-216-1976 to leave a message for the Uncle Henry Show. Tomorrow, Veterans Day, there's a lot going on Veterans Day on the Gulf Coast, including that concert I told you about. Also, a parade in downtown Mobile tomorrow at 10. So if you're looking for something to do and you want to get out and go to a parade, I know it'll be chilly, but still, it's Veterans Day. And you're going to have that parade tomorrow in downtown Mobile at 10 o'clock. All right, there is more to come. But I got to take a time out for traffic, weather, and words from our sponsors. The Uncle Henry Show will continue here on News Radio 710 WNTF.
710 Time Saver Traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design Traffic Center.
And we have a crash with road blockage, Pensacola Boulevard at West Detroit Boulevard. Also a crash on Barrancas Avenue at South Old Quarryfield Road. Crews have been on the scene of a vehicle fire in the right lane, southbound on I-65, approaching Moffett Road. I'm Lisa Baque. Follow us on X, Total Traffic Gulf Coast.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's honors verified military members, veterans, and their spouses this Veterans Day and every day with 10% off eligible purchases with no annual limit. Thank you for your bravery and service. Verify today at Lowe's.com/military. 10% discount can't be combined with an...
YouTube viewers, thank you for looking on YouTube. I appreciate that very much. I do have callers waiting to talk here on the Uncle Henry Show. So when I go back from break, if they hang on through the break, we'll find out who these people are and what on earth they want. I'm going to do a quick YouTube check and see who might be there. Now, see, we do still have a few people looking in. Bama Big Man, Pat Nelly, Excalibur Iron Force, Larry Morting, and Steve Y3X1B. Your wife is the Gladys Kravitz. Good. We need Gladys Kravitzes in our country. Oh, I saw the news. Speaking of Gladys Kravitz, I saw something last week where one of the major companies is going to once again try to do a modern version of the TV show Bewitched. Now, how horrible could that be? Just think about just how horrible modern times are with all the weirdness out there, all the devil worship. Think about how disgusting Bewitched could be. All they got to do is modernize it, and it'll be horrible. Now, let's see. What can I tell you about while waiting to go back on the radio and see who these people are waiting to talk? Let's see. I told you last week that in Japan, they had to send the military to North Japan because bears that had, I can't remember the numbers, but they were shocking how many bear attacks they've had in North Japan. And it's not funny because they've lost a lot of lives. Now, we have new bear news out of Japan. The Japanese government is suggesting that children should carry empty plastic bottles with them to help keep the bears away saying that the bears don't like the sound of the bottles being crumpled. They sent this message out to school boards across Japan, hoping to protect children on their way to and from school. Schools were told to check and possibly change the routes that kids walk to school, set up ways to communicate about bears, and add bear safety rules to their emergency plans. And the attached safety manual suggested that if bears are near school routes, schools should consider having parents drive the kids or close the schools temporarily. That's how they're having a big issue. If you have to send the Army out, but I want to know where they came up with this idea that crumpling up a plastic bottle would drive off a bear. This sounds like bad advice. This is, can you imagine somebody getting mauled by a bear while they're trying to crumple a bottle? Somebody needs to, Grizzly Adams needs to be dropped in over there. They need to airlift Grizzly Adams to Japan. They need some help.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTN, an iHeartRadio station.
It is 5:50. The Uncle Henry Show continues. Telephone number 251-479-2723. Hello, caller.
Hi.
Hey, you are live on the radio.
Hi, I want to be like Bert and play you a song on the air.
All right, go. Please do. Please go right ahead.
All right, I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to play my special instrument called the Toothless Trumpet. Okay, here we go.
What is that, a bass guitar? All right, well, look, again, just like with Bert, they put the phone too far away from the instrument. If you want to call the show and play, I love it when people call the show and play musical instruments, but you're going to have to move the phone closer, or even just ask if you can come up in here and play. I would love to just have all kinds of, as long as you can wear deodorant or something. Come on up here and play some instruments for us. Hello, caller.
Uncle Henry.
LD, the retired mad trucker.
Retired. Look, you know what I'm doing this year since I'm retired? I'm hunting deer. First time in my life. And we put a feeder out in the woods, and guess what showed up? Black bears. Black bears showed up in a very substantial number. And guess what happened over the next couple of weeks, Uncle Henry?
What?
The more the feed came out, the shorter the distance the bear walked away from the feeder, to the point they were sleeping under it and waiting for it to go off. And I think this is the EBT recipient on point. We have fed them and fed them and fed them, and now they're as big as hogs, and they're screaming for more food. And you know what? It's time to cut them off. So this is what we did, Uncle Henry. We just moved the feeder and took all the corn out of it, and within about 3 days, they just realized there wasn't nothing there, and they either moved on or did something else. Maybe the EBT recipient might think if we cut their food off, maybe they should just get a job like the rest of us.
All right, and then LD hung up. All right, LD, thank you very much for your phone call. And I want to thank, and I know you may have thought that was a LD's call. You might have thought it was mean or something. Comparing someone who is receiving SNAP benefits to a bear. But I just want to thank him for not, I kept waiting for my mother to somehow get mentioned being in line with the bears. My mother was not mentioned. What is this, a breakthrough? Maybe prayer has been answered and there's a partial healing of LD's mind going on. You, the listener, continue praying for the mind of LD, because pretty soon, who knows, maybe the next phone call will be some type of rainbow and sunshine type call from him. 251-479-2723, the telephone number here on the Uncle Henry Show. Let's see, I think I've got time for a voicemail. I hope I do. Let me see if I can get this voicemail on the air before I'm out of time in this hour.
Hey, Aunt, it's Pat and Ellie. I hope you're having a great afternoon.
Yes.
What a glorious day in Mobile, Alabama.
Yes, it was.
Were you worried during that Alabama game on Saturday? Yeah, me too. Hey, listen. Got a friend of mine, we was talking on the phone last week, and he asked me if I had ever heard of Uncle Henry. I said, well, sure, I know Uncle Henry. He says, I listen on AM radio to Uncle Henry every afternoon. And there's a guy that calls in there. He says his name is Pat Nelly. And I swear it sounds just like you. Does that ring a bell to you? I said, yeah, Duval, that's me. He just laughed and giggled. I said, Duval, I'm going to call him and let him know that you listen to his show every day on AM radio, and would he please give you a shout out and say, hey, to Joe Duval, and let him know that you know that he's listening. And I just want to tell you, you are doing the Lord's work, and I hope you have a great afternoon, and roll tide.
Roll tide, roll. Pat Nelly, thank you for sharing that with me, and I always love to hear about a listener like Joe Duval. Hey, Joe Duval. Now, is Joe Duval a real person? Or did you make him up so that you could sit and laugh as I'm shouting out a fake person? Now, Pat Nelly did phone in a follow-up.
Hey, it's Pat Nelly again. Hey, listen, I just called you to left you a voicemail, but I need to give you the most important thing about Joe Duval.
Oh, Joe Duval, is he fake?
He's 93.
Oh!
And he really wanted to let you know that he sits down and listens to you every day. And I told him how much you appreciate the senior community, like me and him. Anyways, roll tide again, Unc.
Roll tide, roll! All right, so Joe Duval, 93. All right, well, thank you for listening, 93-year-old Joe Duval. I love talking to people over the age of 90. I do. Especially when they are aware of their surroundings. So, Joe Duval, if you're aware of your surroundings, would love to hear from. Maybe one day you should call the show and we can reminisce about the 1940s together.
I'm Gianna Gelosi with your Fox True Crime Minute. Former NFL star Antonio Brown was arrested Thursday in Dubai by U.S. Marshals on an attempted murder charge and extradited to the U.S. Brown is accused of grabbing a handgun from a security staffer after a celebrity boxing match in May and allegedly firing 2 shots at a man he had gotten into a fistfight with earlier. The victim told police 1 bullet grazed his neck. Later on social media, Brown said he was jumped. Miami police issued an arrest warrant shortly after. The former star wide receiver evaded.
And I'd never heard this. I had no idea that Antonio Brown was on the lam in the Middle East.
Brown has dealt with several legal problems over the years. He was previously accused of battery of a moving truck driver, several domestic violence charges, and failure to pay child support in other incidents. Now he's facing a second-degree attempted murder charge that carries a maximum 15-year prison sentence.
Okay. All right, well, just remember, don't flee to Dubai, because apparently they'll send you back. All right, and also don't shoot at people. Going to turn the camera off. There's more show to come on News Radio 710 WNTM. I will be back with you Thursday. Thank you. Have a pleasant Veterans Day tomorrow.
Freedom of choice.
Here in America, boredom, wealth has brought about a love of drugs.
Get your fix.
Weeknights at 7 on News Radio 710 WNTM.
'Tis the season when you're